Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 9th Glendale City Council. May we have the roll call, please? May we have the roll call?
Council members Devine?
Here.
Friedman?
Here.
Garpetian? Here. Ananian? Here. Najarian?
Here. May we, let's see, we have a special guest for the flag salute?
Yes, we have. Please approach the podium.
Please join me in saluting our nation's flag.
But first, tell us who you are.
Oh, I am Hayden Dinger. I am a Boy Scout in Troop 502 of the La Cañada District.
Thank you for joining us.
All right. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. This Sunday, June 14th, is National Flag Day and falls within National Flag Week, a time when Americans reflect on the foundations of our nation's freedom and the flag which represents our values and common experience. The American flag has been an enduring symbol of our nation. Next Tuesday, we will officially recognize Flag Week in these very chambers and the individual who started it, Mr. Vito Canella, of Montrose. But tonight, we join together and pray for our great nation represented by the flag we honor. We pray for our community and neighbors to join us in expressing our loyalty to the nation, reaffirming our belief in liberty and justice, and pray for our nation's unity when faced with forces who would like to see us falter and fail. We pray for those who get up each day to serve this nation in all walks of life, but especially in our armed forces and the first responders in public safety. We pray for all of this and peace across the world this evening and forever. Always, amen.
May we have your report, please?
The agenda for the June 9th, 2015 regular meeting of the Glendale City Council was posted on Thursday, June 4th, 2015 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And the next item?
Next item under presentation and appointments 3A is an agenda preview for the meetings of Tuesday, June 16, 2015.
Thank you. Ms. Beers.
Mayor Najarian, members of the City Council, for the Glendale Housing Authority for June 16th, we have one business agenda item, and that's City Attorney Housing Authority meeting schedule for fiscal year 15-16. That evening, we have a council meeting at 6 p.m., and we have a number of consent items. Director of Public Works, this is regarding the fiscal year 14-15 ADA improvements and sidewalk repair program. Director of Community Services and Parks, this is an award of the Los Angeles Regional Park and Open Space District for grant and fitness in our parks. Interim Director of Community Development, approval of the Title VI program for Glendale Beeline and Dial-A-Ride Transit programs. General Manager of Glendale Water and Power, task order for risk management services with Alliance for Cooperative Energy Services, Power Marketing. General Manager of Glendale Water and Power, this is annual amendments to the Energy Risk Management Policy. General Manager of Glendale Water and Power, again, amendment of an agreement with Linkis. City Attorney, annual excess insurance policy renewals for fiscal year 2015-16. City Attorney, and this is the City Council meeting schedule for fiscal year 15-16. Under action items, again, we have a number of items. Director of Community Services and Parks, this is approval to enter into a contract for the float design and construction and selection of a float design. Director of Public Works, professional services agreement with all city management services. This is for the Glendale School Crossing Guard program. Director of Public Works, this is a levy annual assessment and preparation of the engineer's report for fiscal year 15-16 for North San Fernando Road Corridor Landscape Maintenance District. Director of Public Works, this is a letter regarding the 710 project. General Manager of Glendale Water and Power, the annual purchase or sale of energy services. General Manager of Glendale Water and Power, this is the IPP renewal contracts between the Intermountain Power Agency and the City of Glendale. And lastly, we have the Interim Director of Community Development. This is the appointment of the new resident member and reappointment of an existing resident member to the Glendale Housing Authority. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next item, please.
Mr. Mayor and Council, next on the agenda, although not listed on this agenda, we have a special check presentation from the Glendale Kiwanis.
Thank you, Glendale Kiwanis. Come forth.
Well, good evening, Mayor Najarian, City Council members, staff. My name is Todd Hunt. I am president of Glendale Kiwanis this year. I have with me Susie Dell, who is our secretary, and friends. So it's been my privilege to be part of the Glendale Host Town Committee, who is putting together the Host Town events for the delegations that are visiting Glendale for the 2015 World Games for Special Olympics. And as Kiwanians, we have a very wonderful and long-lasting partnership with Special Olympics here in town, and it is our honor to be able to present a check to LA 2015 to help support Glendale Host Town for $5,000. So I think Dan Bell gets the check. So we're thrilled to be able to do this and to support the efforts that the city are putting forth to host the athletes that will be visiting Glendale, hosting athletes from Armenia, the Dominican Republic, and Bonaire. And it's just a great thing that we as a city can host these athletes the few days before the games start. And so we're excited about it. Hopefully we'll love to see Glendale get involved and really embrace the athletes that will be visiting us. And personally, on this weekend down in Long Beach, it's the Southern California Summer Games, and I'm the head coach of Team Glendale. We'll be taking 10 athletes down to Long Beach to compete against athletes from all over Southern California. And our athletes, they don't know about this. Hopefully they're not watching over the next week, but we've got brand new jerseys for them. So our athletes will be wearing jerseys with Glendale emblazoned on their chest and representing the city as we compete this weekend down in Long Beach. So that's it. So thank you. And again, thank you to the city, to Dan and Phil and everybody. It's been a huge support, and we thank you for making this a great event coming up at the end of July. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, council members, if I could, just first want to say thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Glendale, and also to Todd for being a part of this Host Town Committee, and thank you, Susie, for being here tonight. Thank you to all Kiwanians. I know there's a couple up there, and Rotarians. Here's your opportunity to come out, and thank you. $5,000 will go a long way to great things we have planned for our athletes coming from around the world, specifically Dominican Republic, Armenia, and Bonaire. And if anyone at home would like to get involved, we do have a wonderful video that is playing on the Move, our new segment here for Glendale. And if I So as you can see, just that video there, very inspirational athletes, activities coming up, and we're proud to do it, and we can do it thanks to our sponsors. So thanks again to Kiwanis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you very much. The next item.
Next item is consent items. The following are routine and may be acted upon by one motion. Any member of council or the audience requesting separate consideration may do so by making such request before a motion is proposed.
Okay, how about a motion for the consent calendar? Going once.
I'll make the motion to move the.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Council members Devine?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Garpetian?
Yes.
Sinanian? Mayor Najarian?
Yes. Thank you, colleagues. Next item.
Next item is city council or staff comments.
Okay, I would like to lead off, if I may, and I believe we have a graphic, and I will ask that we adjourn tonight's meeting in the memory of Peter Pailag Chorobanyan. Thought we had a graphic. It might come up. Peter Pailag Chorobanyan, the eldest son of Pailag and Sirvart, was born on March 13, 1933 in Newburyport, Massachusetts. Pailag and Sirvart moved the family to California just after Peter's graduation from high school in 1951. Here, Peter joined the football team at Cal State LA, took on a graveyard shift at a meat packing company, tried out for the Dodgers, was drafted into the U.S. Army in the Artillery Division, was in the All-Europe Champion Drill Team, marching band, football team, baseball team, wrestling team, and on occasion did photography for the Stars and Stripes newspaper. Later, Peter graduated from UCLA, where he studied accounting. Subsequently, he held an array of jobs. Later, Peter joined the Barites, Armenian music band, and joined the Highs Club, became president, and met a beautiful young girl who became his wife. Peter obtained his real estate broker's license and opened his first business in 1976. Over 39 years, Peter had enjoyed great successes. He received a number of honorary awards and accolades, including Citizen of the Year, and was an honorary member for life of the California Association of Realtors. Peter also joined the Kiwanis Club as well and would religiously attend their weekly meetings. A year and a half ago, Peter was diagnosed with cancer. His number one wish was to spend his remaining time enjoying his family and his agents. Peter loved life and lived it to its fullest, and on May 20th, 2015, he passed away. Peter is survived by his loving wife, Sylvie, his daughter, Christine, his son, Christopher, his son-in-law, Stephen, and his sister, Sonia. In memory of Peter Pailag Chorobanyan, we will adjourn. Okay, thank you. Other comments or announcements?
I will.
Ms. Devine.
Thank you. This was a weekend with three fantastic events. The first was the Glendale Firefighters Walk in Fashion, which was absolutely fantastic. And I know City Clerk Kasakian announced at the end of last week's meeting, which was kind of sad because a lot of you might have been sleeping when that announcement was made, because it was a tremendous fashion show, and the firefighters the association has made a very nice profit from the support of all the people that were there, and had the opportunity to shop at Bloomingdale's, and part of their experience went to the Firefighters Association. So that was fantastic, and kudos to all the firemen that were part of that. The second event was the Jewel City Ride. It was a cycling event sponsored by the Noontime Rotary, well, all of the Rotaries. And also the Glendale Police Department was involved, and Walk by Glendale, fantastic. They had like almost 150 cyclists, and it was a beautiful day for a bike ride, and congratulations to them for a successful event. And finally, the Montrose Arts and Crafts Festival was Saturday and Sunday. They must have thousands of people there. It was a huge success, lots of fun, lots of people doing shopping for Christmas and holidays, and it was a most successful event, and I congratulate the folks in Montrose for that terrific event. And I also have an announcement that I want to make, if I can find it here. Here it is. No, it isn't. Mr. Mayor, will you come back to me, because I have an announcement about Adams Hill that I'd like to make.
We could do it now if you...
I know I can't, but I can.
Oh, you need to locate it? Sure, we can move on.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Garbett?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I also attended the Arts and Cultural Festival at Montrose. It was a great event. It was a two-day event. Also attended the Firefighters Fashion Show, and I didn't get to see our firefighters in full gear on the catwalk, but because I got there maybe 15, 20 minutes late. But it was a great event. At the same day, Juventus was playing Barcelona. It was a tough choice. So that's all I have. Also met with a few homeowners associations, homeowners coordinating council on Monday. I also met with Northwest Glendale Homeowners Associations as well as Verdugo, Montrose Homeowners Associations. I'm going around to talk to people, see what the concerns are. Every area has its own issues and difficulties, so we're trying to address them. Stay tuned. We will let you know when our community meetings are going to be, so you can attend and address all your concerns. That's all I have at this point.
Thank you. Back to Ms. Devine.
Okay, I found it. The Adams Hill Neighborhood Association is very excited to be holding an opening celebration for the first art installation on Saturday, June 13th from 5 to 7:30. The exhibit will be in the gas station. So if you're in the neighborhood, or make sure you're in the neighborhood of Adams Hill, go by and see that art exhibit. It's the first of its kind. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just two things I'll mention. Going back to Adams Hill again, last Sunday, Adams Hill, I think it was Sunday, had their Adams Hill-wide garage sale, which is a great way to get people to clean out their garages so they can park in them and to get rid of stuff they don't need and move it on to a home for people who do need it. And I picked up lots of really great things. And they must have had 75, 80 families participating. So congratulations, Adams Hill Homeowners Association, for putting together such a great little event for the area. And secondly, Sunday I also attended the Montrose Arts and Crafts Festival, which was their farmers market but expanded with more food vendors and hundreds of arts and crafts vendors from near and far. And it was extremely well attended, despite being about 97 degrees in the shade. It was absolutely packed with people. So great job, Shopping Park Association in Montrose.
Thank you. Staff, any comments?
Yes. We do have a presentation, an announcement from Parks Department. Sevak Garabedian will make that, and as he's walking up to the podium, I'll just take the opportunity to congratulate all our graduates from all our Glendale schools, all of the high schools that had graduations last week, this week. Congratulations, and to the parents, teachers, and staff.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor Najarian, members of council, city staff. My name is Sabal Garabedian, Community Services Supervisor for the Community Services and Parks Department. I'm here to announce that the Community Services and Parks Department is proud to bring back summer concerts in the park. If you recall, we used to have them a few years ago. And summer concerts in the park takes place at Verdugo Park on the north end of the park. And it's going to take place Wednesdays from starting July 1st. And every Wednesday until August 5 from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And the performance this year are the Verdugo Swing Society, Orquesta Charangoa, the Blue Links Band, the Skinny Little Twits, Cold Duck, and the Hodads. We expect over 600 people to attend each concert on any given night. So we want the community to join us, pack the picnic baskets, bring the kids out, and enjoy some free concerts in our great outdoors.
Time again?
It's from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday evenings.
Do we have a graphic with those dates or the?
I believe I submitted one, but
tell us what the dates are again.
It's July 1st, July 8th, 15, 22, and 29, and August 5.
Okay,
and then
so starting July 1st, Wednesday, every Wednesday following for
6 weeks total.
For 6 weeks.
And we have some business cards in the back, so you could keep it in your wallet or pass it around. It'll be easier than flyers, and we'll be distributing it citywide too. So
okay, very good. Thank you very much.
We do have a graphic that we can just put up. I don't know what the quality of it will be, but there you go. You should have.
Quick work, Mr. Clerk.
No problem.
And it's all right there, all in Verdugo Park. Plenty of parking, a nice grassy area for now. And I've been to a few of those, and it's really quite enjoyable to sit underneath the trees in the evening and enjoy some great music. Okay, thank you. Any other comments from staff? We're good? Okay. Let's move on to the next item.
Next item, item 6, is community event announcements. This is a 3-minute portion. I believe we do have some cards submitted.
Okay. I have a card. I have 2 cards. First is Rick Dinger.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Council people, and staff, thank you for having me today. I'm here to announce the Glendale City Golf Championship. This is a very unique event It's not your typical charity event. It's a partnership with Shoal Canyon Golf Club, City of Glendale, Oakmont Country Club, and the Trusted Choice local insurance agents. This brings in golfers from around Southern California, even as far as Arizona, come out to play in this tournament. It's a 2-day event. The qualifiers that play the first day at Shoal on August 20th will then have a chance to play at Oakmont Country Club on the 24th. So it's a great event. You'll be seeing these posters around town, and we just want to encourage all the citizens of Glendale to come out and give it a shot. Our last year's champion was Vince DePinto, and he'll be coming back to try and regain his championship. Thank you very much.
Just a question for Rick. How many years? This is like the fourth year?
It's our fourth year.
Fourth year.
Yeah, and it's raised, I think, about almost $50,000 for our local parks. And all the money that's raised goes right to our parks. We get both golf venues are donated to us, so it's 100% profit to the Parks and Open Space
Terrific.
Foundation.
And you do a great job with it.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course, it's a Rotarian, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak is Sharon Townsend.
Mayor Najarian, City Council members and staff, I'm sure you're here thinking I'm going to announce a community event, but I'm not. I'm simply here to say thank you this evening. I think we should be more verbal in acknowledging our appreciation. I think we should enjoy the little things in life, because I think when we look back, they're actually going to be the big things in life. I think we should make it a habit to tell people thank you, to express appreciation without any expectation of anything in return. I want you to know, on behalf of Glendale Healthy Kids and a community member, and having lived here for, I'm going to age myself, 40 years, I truly appreciate everything that you do in this city. I hope tonight I can shine my light of thankful thoughts upon you. And I want to thank you for all those missed birthdays, all those anniversaries, all those times that your significant partner was upset you had to go to one more event, because you've attended our events. So on behalf of Glendale Healthy Kids, I'd like to make a certificate of presentation. So Ara Najarian, for the City Council, thank you for your continued support of Glendale Healthy Kids, because you're ensuring that all children have access to health care.
This is highly unusual. I want you to know that.
I'm an unusual person, but I speak from my heart. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me... Thank you so much.
The City Manager's Office, I so appreciate your support and your encouragement. You've been a great partner to Glendale Healthy Kids. You've also asked hard questions, strategic questions, and we couldn't be proceeding along without you. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of Glendale Healthy Kids.
We gave him some thanks last week. I don't know if he needs any more, but... Okay, we'll give him thanks. He's a good guy.
Never enough. Never enough.
The City Clerk's Office, he's always there when we call, answers my questions, and I just want to thank you for being a great supporter of Glendale Healthy Kids and for your friendship.
Artie was a former board member, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And Courtney has recently been a board member.
Yeah, that's right.
And not last but not least, Dan Bell and Tom Lorenz. I need to point them out individually. They have been tremendous in strategically helping Glendale Healthy Kids in everything we do. Thank you.
They are partners, aren't they? They just...
And crime, yeah.
They just go together.
Does Tom turn to Dan sometimes and say, I'm getting too old for this? Or I'm only 2 weeks from retirement? Oh, I'm just thinking of those. Yeah, but those movie lines, you know, the partner lines.
It's a lot of weddings. Thank you very much from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, and Glendale Healthy Kids. I don't have any other cards, so I will close this portion of oral communications. Let's move on to the next item, please.
Mr. Mayor and Council, next item on the agenda, the only item on this agenda, is the action item 8A, Director of Community Services and Parks, regarding grant application to the Los Angeles County Regional Park and Open Space District. 8A1 is a resolution authorizing the submittal of a grant application amount of $183,500 and a youth employment plan for the 2015 countywide competitive grant program.
Thank you, Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir. As Mr. Duran cues up an extraordinarily brief presentation in light of your hometown team getting ready to take on the Warriors tonight, we just want to introduce the idea that we are going after grant funds for the barn at Duke Majan and really let residents know that this asset exists, and hopefully, if we are successful in getting these grant funds, how the access to this asset will be increased really for the benefit of all Glendale residents. So, Jess?
Mr. Duran.
Thank you, Scott.
No pressure, though, Jess.
Mayor Najarian, members of the City Council, staff is proposing to submit an application to the LA County Regional Park and Open Space District's 2015 Countywide Competitive Grant Program. The goal of this program is to allocate all remaining funds from the rivers and streams and Santa Monica Bay categories of LA County's Proposition A. Among the eligible projects under rivers and streams is the development of new recreation facilities such as parks, trails, or interpretive centers which involve the public with the Los Angeles River and its tributaries. The master plan for Duke-Majan Wilderness Park, which was completed in 1992, calls for the adaptive reuse of the Le Messonnier barn as an interpretive center. Therefore, we are seeking this grant to help fund the design, fabrication, and installation of interpretive displays and exhibits in the forthcoming Le Messonnier Interpretive Center project. The interpretive displays and exhibits throughout the center will focus on both the human and natural history of the region with a specific emphasis on Duke-Majan Park itself. This grant will pay for displays and exhibits related to the Los Angeles River, the Verdugo Wash, which runs through Glendale, and Dunsmore Creek, which runs adjacent to the barn. So that's our tie-in to the river and our eligibility for this grant opportunity. In terms of very brief background and history of the park, it was acquired by the city in 1988. An initial master plan was completed in 1992, as I mentioned earlier. Since 1992, the park has been developed in several phases, including the construction of approximately 3 miles of trails in the park and construction of the park center, including restrooms, picnic area, walking paths, an amphitheater, and a new entry road. The next phase to be completed is the rehabilitation of the barn, and even the barn has been broken into phases due to lack of funding. The seismic retrofit of the barn was completed in 2011. The work for the mechanical systems, which includes HVAC, plumbing, electrical work, and a new floor, was approved by the City Council just last Tuesday and is out to bid. This work is expected to begin in August and be completed by the end of 2015. The final element will be the completion of the interior and installation of displays, exhibits, and furnishings, and the construction of exterior restrooms. Later this year, we will be issuing an RFP for consultants to work on the interior design of the barn and exterior restroom facility. We hope to go out to bid on the interior improvements by summer of 2016, with the ultimate goal of opening the barn as an interpretive center and community facility by early 2017. Once completed and opened, the center will provide a new and different recreational and educational opportunity to the residents of Glendale and beyond, including and especially the youth, and serve as a source of pride and appreciation of the human and natural history of our region. An example of the youth that it will serve besides schools and youth organizations is the GO program, which is an acronym for Glendale Outdoors, and a program sponsored by the Glendale Parks and Open Space Foundation through funding that they raise by such fundraisers as the golf tournament that Mr. Dinger alluded to earlier. We're currently twice a year, we will take youth from our 2 community centers in southern Glendale on a field trip to Duke-Majan Park. They will participate in interpretive programming, arts and crafts, and team-building games with a nature and wilderness theme. For many youth, it's their first experience in the mountains. Currently, we're able to serve approximately 25 youth per trip. The GO program is also a component of the One Glendale after-school program that is kicking off this August. Last month, we hosted as other examples, last month we hosted a local Boy Scout overnight campout, and just before that, we hosted an all-day interpretive program for 200 low-income youth associated with USC called Troy Camp. And again, as other examples of youth that could benefit and be incentivized to return as a result of an interpretive center. We are proposing and submitting to the County of Los Angeles that approximately 25% of the exhibit space of our interpretive center could be dedicated to displays, exhibits, and narrative related to the river to warrant the county funding. We feel that compared to other grant applications the county will be receiving, that our proposal tying the barn in its wilderness setting to the river miles away will be unique and attractive to the county. For your reference and to reorientate you to the barn, I have a couple of photos I'd like to share. If I could. Okay, this is the west elevation, which will be the main entrance to the interpretive center, and this is the current condition of that building. This is the north elevation, or the side of the building. This is the west elevation, and again, that's what it looks like today. And this is the interior. It's just a shell. All the seismic retrofitting had to be performed inside the building in order to comply with the historic preservation guidelines of the exterior. So this is the part that will be built out as a result of this grant application and the funding that the City Council has already appropriated to the interior improvements of the barn to build out the center. And this is a very rough 10-year-old sketch of what the interior of the educational center might look like. Most of the displays will be in the center, and they will be portable, so we'll be able to move them, either lift them up into the rafters or to the sides. The exhibits and displays that will be along the walls, of course, will be permanent, and the reason for that is so that we can also use the venue for rental and reservations for receptions and or classroom settings. So that's an example of what we have in mind and what the barn currently looks like. At this point, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Ms. Friedman.
Well, first, I'm really glad to see this coming in finally. It's been a long time in coming, and it's going to be great. The barn is beautiful. It's a great asset. I had talked to you some time back about now that we allow alcohol in our parks, and this being such an amazing spot for wedding receptions, that kind of thing, because it has the best view, I think, in all of Glendale of any park. It's just stunning. About doing some sort of patio on the side where people could have receptions and be in the barn and come out of the barn as opposed to being in the barn and then having to go way down into the grassland below. And I know that there's an issue with the grapevines there because that's where the grapes are. But when I spoke to Stuart, who does the grapes, he would prefer to move the grapevines to a different part of the park because they have better soil in the park that the county controls that we don't control, where it's sort of the rock gravel. He talked about going there and being able to expand the grapes because it's a much larger area that's not locked in by other things around it. So I'd love you to look into that, whether it's feasible to allow them to move to a bigger area as they requested, and then allowing us to free up that area. And I know it would be an additional cost, but that's something that I think we should consider doing out of the general fund or any other program, because that would pay for itself in rentals. You know, having a patio there where you have that incredible view, and to be able to then have that barn have an additional, 2,000 square feet or something outside would make that extremely, I think, more rentable and more valuable for groups. Because not everyone wants to go down into grass when they're having a party. People wear high heels, that kind of thing. But this would be an outdoor area that then is very accessible to people that have mobility issues and everything else.
Absolutely, Mayor Najarian, Councilwoman Friedman. We can make that as part of the RFP for the interior improvements.
To talk to them, make sure you coordinate with the grapevine people, yes, because I want to make sure they're in the loop. We don't want to lose the grapes. That's an important historic part.
Absolutely. We have been in communication with Stuart Bayless, and so he's talking to us about making modifications to the location of the grapevines. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, and before I ask for a motion, I just want to say that I was concerned at the very beginning that the funds that we're collecting from the downtown development mostly were being used in an area far outside of the impacted area. However, as Mr. Duran pointed out in his report, the programming of this barn will provide a lot of activities, educational and so forth, for youth from the impacted areas, from our urban core. I never thought I'd use those words, urban core, when I described Glendale, but I guess, in a sense, that's really what we're developing. So it's going to, although the geographical distance is far, it will certainly be an asset for all the residents of Glendale to use. So that allayed my fears and my objections that I was going to make in using these funds up there. So you really allayed my fear. So I'm happy that that's the way it's going to be done.
And how much are we,
Mr. Carpeccia?
How much are we allocating from those funds, from the development impact fee for parks to this project?
We, Mayor Najarian and Commissioner Garpetian, we currently have $2.5 million allocated, appropriated by the City Council for the rehabilitation of the barn, which includes the mechanical systems that you approved to go out to bid last Tuesday. That's estimated at $500,000. It includes an estimate of close to $800,000 for the interior improvements of the barn, and about another $1 million for a restroom building that will be required in order to open up the interpretive center. The interpretive center improvements is estimated at close to $800,000.
700 something.
Yeah, 784, I think.
So the entire $2.5 million comes from the development impact fee for parks?
Yes.
But it's 183.5 for this as our match.
Yes.
That
the LA County grant request is for $183,000, which will go towards offsetting the $800,000 estimate for the interpretive center.
So 570 from Community Services and Parks, 183 from grant funding.
When you do rentals, does that go back into our Parks Fund?
Yes.
It goes into the Parks Department, as
right.
part of his enterprise operations.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
part of the enterprise.
Do you have any idea of what you could rent this at? I mean, what sort of yearly, any ballpark?
I don't think we do.
It will be a very popular rental venue. Currently, the park closes at dusk. With completion of this project and revamping the lighting system, we'll be able to open till 10 o'clock, but only for the reservations, not for the general use of the park. So we could probably rent it quite regularly. We get a lot of calls now, a lot of requests.
And how much money do we have left in our pot, basically, from the development impact fees? What's our balance after this is allocated?
Mayor Najarian, Councilmember Garpetian, we have a remaining balance of.
Due this year is about $8 million, isn't it?
No, we projected $8 million by the end of this fiscal year. We programmed $4 million as part of the CIP budget. So we're projecting to have about $3 to $4 million remaining unprogrammed and remaining balance. And then for fiscal year 15-16, we're projecting another $11 million based on all of the current development project applications and building permits.
And that will be all available for parks and
Yes, it's all available for parks. We will be scheduling a strategic planning session and report and discussion with the City Council in September or October.
Right, that makes me feel much more comfortable.
Yeah, we'll be talking about all the different ideas on what to do with that money. It's a great opportunity to do something really significant, depending on which way.
Again, I'm going to reemphasize what Mr. Mayor was saying, that most of these developments are in downtown area, and we have to have a master plan as to what we're going to do to improve the parks and add more parkland in south of 134. And I know Dugmejan is a great place. We visit it very often, but parks that you can walk out of your door or out of your house and walk to a park is much different than when you bus you from somewhere to another place. But again, let's move forward.
Okay, we have a resolution at 8A1. Would someone like to make that?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Council members Devine,
Yes.
Friedman,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Sinanian, Mayor Najarian.
Yes. Next item, please.
Next item is oral communication. Discussion is limited time and is not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Council may question or respond to a speaker, but there will be no debate or decision, and the city manager may refer the matter to the appropriate department for an investigation and a report.
Thank you. Michael Briley.
Good evening. My name is Mike Briley, and I'm a citizen of Glendale. I've been here going on 7 years this year. I came to the council a while back regarding the issue with tenants next door, specifically at 641A West Glen Oaks Boulevard. There's an ongoing issue now that's going on 4 years where trash is constantly left outside instead of put in the bin. For example, this morning when I left my home at 6:02 a.m., this was outside the neighbor's door. This is trash. Here's another picture. This is ongoing. This is 553. This is all within the last 7 days. Trash left outside. I have several, but I won't waste your time with all the pictures. Now, I've repeatedly taken pictures. I've called and said, what can be done? I'm told we're going to look into it, we're going to look into it, we're going to come out. And I said, well, when you come out, the trash is gone. But leaving the trash out there all night, especially when it's 80, 90 degrees, you are encouraging animals. Within the last 2 months, I just make it a habit before I leave my home, just to look out the window before I go outside, because my car is in the back. So I have to walk along the driveway, because we share a driveway, just to see what's out there. I would say within the last 2 months, I saw an animal outside that wasn't a dog or a cat. Now, I know we have whatever around here. My concern is, one, the rats. Within the last 4 months, I left my home. This was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I opened my front door. A rat goes across the corridor. I've lived here 7 years, and this is the first time I'm seeing this. I'm constantly calling. I called the mayor's office recently and spoke with a young lady by the name of Eliza. I'm sorry, I don't have her last name, but I have the emails. And I've sent her all the emails from the last 4 years. I told her the problem. And she called me back, and she said, well, I spoke with Neighborhood Services. They're going to come out and look at it. I said, well, okay, they're going to come out and see what? I'm showing you pictures of when this happened. And she said, well, they're telling me, well, there's nothing they can do as long as the trash is removed. I said, okay, what's the time frame to have the trash removed? She didn't give me an answer. I said, okay, where's it in black and white that a neighbor can take their trash, leave it outside, and not put it in the trash bin? So that's telling me that I could have came here this evening with all of my trash, smelling or whatever, and just placed it right there and left and came back at whatever time and picked it up, and I wouldn't have been held accountable for that. Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm asking for is closure. I have other things that I could be doing. You guys have other important issues that could be resolved. I am tired of calling Neighborhood Services and getting the runaround. And what I find amazing is the fact that I'm hearing on the news, see something, do something, say something. I'm coming to you as a citizen of Glendale, California. Why hasn't this been resolved? I was told year one by Neighborhood Services that for each fine, that's a $50 fee. So I'm calculating, because I have all pictures if you want them. I sent them all to Elijah as well. All the pictures. I'm calculating, okay, $50 all these times I've called and showed them pictures. Why isn't the landlord of this unit held accountable for this? Because Glendale is not immune to the economic tensions that all the communities are facing right now. That's money we can use to help the park, to help an event, Why isn't neighborhood services collecting this money? Because they haven't. Because if I was a landlord, and I'm sure you agree with this, if I was a landlord and I have a tenant and I'm shelling out $50 every time they violate something, that tenant is either going to change their habits or, I'm sorry, you no longer can live in my building. All I'm asking for is closure. And now it's gotten to the point where in the building, I live in a building next door to it. We all take turns taking our trash out, okay? When I take my trash out, this is what greeted me when I came home, because we take it out. If it's your week, you take it out, you bring it in. This is what greeted me when I came home. The trash bin's in the driveway, upside down. Now, I'm the only person of color on my block. I'm taking this personal now, because this shouldn't happen. And I'm notifying NAACP, the Urban League. I'm asking the city of Glendale to come to a peaceful resolution to resolve this. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, thank you, sir. Since he's already spoken to staff.
And I've spoken with the gentleman that's here right now. I think his name is Ben or Dan.
Dan Bell.
The last time I was here, I spoke with him.
He's our main problem solver.
I mean,
and
all
liaison.
I'm asking for is just closure. That's all I'm asking. I enjoy living here.
Okay.
I enjoy walking the streets at nighttime.
Okay.
Why
Thank
should
you,
I have
sir.
to move?
So what I'm going to ask you to do, although you have given me your card and filled out, all the information, I'm going to hand this to Mr. Bell, and I'm going to see what we can do to resolve that.
And could someone please just give me a call and let me know how this is going to be resolved? And if you can't resolve it, I don't want just a closure. That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming forward. We appreciate it.
Is this a landlord problem?
Pardon me?
No, I'm speaking with the mayor.
Well, yeah, let's look into it.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Next speaker is Andranik Gevorkian, followed by Dadi Yelsik. So our policy is to go ahead and speak Armenian. If you speak Armenian, to go ahead and speak it, and we're provided with a translation. I mean, later to council. So please go ahead.
Ընդհանրապես մեկ ու կես տարի է որ այստեղ եմ, դեռ չեմ դիապետել։ Հարգելի պարոն քաղաքապետ, քաղաքային խորհրդի անդամներ, մեկ ու կես տարվա ընթացքում շատ սիրեցինք այս քաղաքը եւ նրան բոլոր հոգսերը համարում ենք նաեւ մերը եւ նկատելով որ շատ կազմակերպված համայնք է եւ կատարում է համակարգային բավականին մեծ միջոցառումներ, այդ ամենը մեզ դրդեց ներկայանալ ձեզ եւ առաջարկել մեր մտահոգությունը։ Լուրերից տեղեկացանք, որ ջրի սակավության պատճառով Կալիֆոռնիայի նահանգապետարանը ջրի խնայողության հատուկ խստացված ռեժիմ է սահմանել յուրաքանչյուր քաղաքի համար առանձին։ Հաճախ է խոսվում ջրի խնդիրների մասին, ջրամատակարարման մասին եւ նկատելի է նաեւ լճերի ու ամբարտակների մակարդակների իջեցումը, իսկ եղանակի կանխատեսումը ամենայն մեղմ ասած հուսադրող չէ։ Նշանակում է, որ քաղաքս տեսանալի ապագայում մշտապես կանգնած է լինելու ջրամատակարարման մեծ հոգսի առջև։ Վստահ եմ, որ տեղյակ եք, ինչպես շատ ազգեր, հայերս նույնպես հնուց ի վեր ունեցել ենք ջրի աստվածություն եւ ջրի փառաբանության օրը նշվում էր մեծ շոքով։ Այդ տոնը նվիրված էր աստղիկ դիցուհուն եւ ջրեր էին ցողում միմյանց վրա, վարդեր նվիրում, այցելում ուխտագնացության նման աղբյուրներին, սուրբ համարվող գետերին եւ երկրպագում էին ջրին։ Քրիստոնեության ընդունումից հետո այդ տոնը հայ եկեղեցին ընդունեց նաև իր տոների շարքում եւ այն տոնվում է մինչեւ այսօր դարձյալ նույն մեծ շուկով եւ հիանալի ուրախ ծիսակատարություններով։ Շուտով հուլիսի 12-ին այդ մեծ տոնի վարդավառի կամ Քրիստոսի աստվածապայծառակերպության օրն է։ Քանի որ Գլենդելում բնակվում են հազարավոր հայ ընտանիքներ, այսպես թե այնպես այդ տոնը նշվելու է յուրաքանչյուր հայ ընտանիքում։ Առաջարկում ենք, որ այդ հիանալի տոնը դուրս բերել հայկական շրջանագից եւ դարձնել ամբողջ Գլենդելի համայնքի Գլենդելի սեփականություն։ Մասնակից դարձնելով քաղաքիս բոլոր ազգերի ներկայացուցիչներին, ընդունելով նրանց սովորույթները եւ ավանդույթները ջրի վերաբերյալ նույնպես եւ այն դարձնել միասնական մեծ տոն եւ դարձնել ամենամյա նշել ամեն օր։ Ինչի համար է այս ամենը, որովհետեւ ջրի նկատմամբ վերաբերմունքը, հարգալից վերաբերմունքը շատ կօգնի ջրի խնդիրների հետագա լուծման համար։ Միայն ներդրումներով եւ խիստ միջոցներ ձեռնարկելով դուգանքներով չէ որ գլուծվի ջրի խնդիրը, այլ նաեւ հարկավոր է մարդու բարի վերաբերմունքը ջրի նկատմամբ։ Գիտենք, որ Հայաստանում առնվազն 2 գետ համարվել է սուրբ, ինչպես Արածանին կամ Մայր Արաքսը, ռուսներն ունեն Մայր Վոլգան, եվրոպացիներն ունեն Դանուբը կամ Դունայը, եգիպտացիներն ունեն Նեղոսը, կարծում եմ, որ հնդիկների Գանգեսը բոլորին ծանոթ է եւ Ամերիկայի համար, հատկապես Կալիֆոռնիայի համար շատ նշանակալից է Կոլորադո մեծ գետը։ Եթե գաղափարը ընդունվի, կարելի է հատուկ հանձնաժողովի միջոցով մշակել միջոցառումների շարք, աշխատանքային գրաֆիկ եւ այդ օրը ամբողջ քաղաքը նշի իր վերաբերմունքը ջրի նկատմամբ։ Տեխնիկական միջոցները հիանալի են, բոլոր հեռուստակայանները կարող են այդ օրը մասնակցել, համացանցը էլեկտրոնային նույնպես, հիմնարկ ձեռնարկությունները, դպրոցները եւ այլն եւ այլն։ Եթե գաղափարն ընդունվի, աշխատանքի ծրագրի համար նույնպես մենք առաջարկենք մեր բարի ծառայությունը ձեզ։ Շնորհակալություն եմ հայտնում ուշադրության համար։
Thank you very much. Dottie Yelsik, followed by Frank Gallo.
That would be me, Dottie Yelsik. Thank you to the council and to the city offices and your staff, and thank you especially, Councilwoman Devine, for mentioning the event that was in Verdugo Park this past Sunday. And I've brought this issue to the council before, and I thought it was resolved, but it seems to be over time a reoccurring problem. Now, it has been said that every right bears a responsibility, and I believe that. I don't think that I have a right to bring this up, but I do have the responsibility. To me, it's a privilege. And when you said that everything was very good in the park, well, it depends on what part of that elephant you're touching. Anyway, what I would like to bring up to the council is what happens when a permit holder does not abide by the permit. And I'll give you a for instance, and it's specifically about the use of the park, especially parking, and it's the permit holder stationing somebody at the entrance to the park to direct anybody that's coming into that park. Okay, and this is what I would really like to get clarification on. It's number 1 of the permit, and it says applicant must request permission to use the parking lot at Verdugo Park from the city clerk's office. What happens when that's not done? Because permit holders see it as a title to the park. Now, I realize, I get that the city council has the right to lease out places. But what about the other users of a public park when it's not posted? And but I would really like to know, when it's spelled out in the permit, is it just ignored? Does the permit holder think, well, I've got a permit, so I can use this space for whatever purpose suits my needs and not the other users of the park. And my objection is that it's not posted, because there's filming there, it's always posted. There are groups that reserve the tables, they're posted reserved. But for some reason, and I know that many of these service clubs do a lot of good, and they probably bring a lot of money into Glendale. But what happens when they don't live up to it? Like, this is really clear. Applicant must request permission. And if they just go, well, I don't have it, but I have a permit. But I have a permit. I have a permit. And it just causes a lot of problems. And my concern is that I've lived in Glendale for a lot of years. I do not want to see Glendale become the next Bell, California. So I have not only a responsibility to bring these before the people who can solve the problems, address it, because otherwise you're not going to know. You're going to say everything was rosy schmosy, no problem at all. But a permit holder does not have a right, in my estimation, but he does have a responsibility to put the sections that are pertinent to his permit or that permit. Okay.
Well, if you're concluded, I can give you a brief response, but
Sure.
but only if you're done. If you have more, please go
all.
ahead. You have some time remaining.
Yeah, no, that was it.
So I think, speaking for the council, we don't know the details of the permit application or the issuance, the conditions on issuance that is issued by the clerk's office. And it appears that you do have some complaints and perhaps allegations that the permit holders acted in excess of their authority. So I would ask that you refer that to the clerk and present it as a complaint. And before another permit is issued to that group, they can look into that and appropriate warnings given and admonitions as to exactly what they need to do, posting requirements, staffing requirements, etc.
And when I brought it up to the person, these events have a tendency to post somebody from the group, from the permit holders group, right in the main entrance.
I was there, ma'am. I saw the whole thing, so I know what you're talking about. But I can't really address as to whether that was beyond their authority or not. And I'm going to leave that with our clerk, who has the charter-based authority to issue those permits. And he's very receptive to complaints and comments. And I'm sure that next time a permit is issued to that particular group, he's going to make sure that the appropriate remedial measures are made and implemented.
So the answer to my question is, it's the city clerk's office, not the permit holder's responsibility to see that the permit, especially for parking.
I'm gonna refer you to our city clerk, who is probably best able to answer that question.
We can look into the specific permit, and I'm not certain as to how the parking is allocated for a specific event. It varies depending on where the special event is, what type of venue it is. So we'll look into it, and we'll make sure that a lot of these organizations, ma'am, will try to have, if it's a recurring event, we'll make sure that we...
Then why are people that film there required?
Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry, we're starting to get into a discussion about...
Mr. City Attorney, would you like to direct the conversation?
Right, I guess...
So we can't go back and forth, ma'am, but I'm telling you that your best next stop is with the city clerk, and he'll make sure that your complaints are noted and that any actions above or in excess of authority will be dealt with and corrected. We want to make sure that the parks are for everyone and that everyone is able to enjoy them as best able, understanding there are some special events that may be given permission to occur. Thank you. Mr. Garbett.
I have one question, just a point of clarification. So your complaint is that this is my understanding, that they had a guy up front, and what did they do? They said the parking is reserved for their event, or I just want to understand
wanted to know what our purpose was in there. Anybody that came in got stopped.
Driving in the park?
Yeah. Right. Were you part of the event or were you not part of the event? In other words, there were a lot of bicyclists
Right.
So, and they were kind of coming and going, but
Got it. I just wanted to understand what the complaint
Yeah.
was. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for bringing those concerns forward. Frank Gallo.
Good evening. My name is Frank Gallo, and I was present here at the previous council session. I am a financial planner. Unfortunately, at the time, I was not able to speak when it was most pertinent. Council member Karapetian requested verification of utility surplus before approving the transfer. He received replies from the city attorney and the chief of finance that contain factual mistakes. In regards to Mr. Garcia, the Government Accounting Standards Board, GASB, established in 1984, was not supposed to supersede governmental institutions' law, but to have a uniform accounting practice in those institutions. He indicated that, quote, GASB disallows transfers from a surplus account to another surplus account. You got your revenue, you pay your expenses. You made your transfer before it went into a surplus fund. At the end, you were at the same place. In simple terms, the charter determines that there is surplus once the utility has paid its expenses and put money aside for depreciation. You can find that in the charter, Article 11, Section 17 of the city charter, and it's very clear there. Now, in regards to Mr. Elliott, who unfortunately is not present here, the factual mistake corresponds to the following statement, quote, in charter language, the balance sheet is the surplus, and the revenue fund is the income statement. So the money goes in, we pay our expenses. The conflict we arrive into is you can write a check from the equity account. It has to go through your profit and loss income statement. The charter does not indicate that you calculate surplus based on the balance sheet. On the contrary, the charter is very specific in mandating that after paying for appropriations of the electrical fund, operational costs, paying for the bond service, and putting money aside for depreciation, whatever is left is considered surplus. In summary, you will be looking at the income statement, not the balance sheet, to determine surplus. Mr. Elliott's statement that equity, which includes non-liquid assets such as land, equipment, and the like, is surplus, is incorrect. The charter established funds are cash-based and liquid. In 2013-2014 CAFR financial statement, as you can see it in the exhibit, E2, page 48 of the CAFR, the net income for the electric fund, can you go up a little bit? It is in a circle there, was 10.266 million. You are transferring 20 million. You are cannibalizing the utility by at least $10 million. You can see at the bottom that you have a negative of 10 million. Finally, Mr. Ochoa answered that if the transfer was not made, the city will have to cut services such as libraries, parks and recreation, and even public safety. It is a practical matter. It is not. It is a legal matter. The solution is probably not the popular solution, but it is the legal solution. Go to the voters. You are getting paid a small fortune to get that done, not to put roadblocks in front of City Council. That's the solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Artush Safarian.
My name is Artush Safarian. Good evening. I'm not very well speaking English. Armenian. In Bogokes charteritza or Ivan Martkanzis իմ նման հիվանդ մարդից, որ օգնություն են ստանում կառավարությունից, 91 դոլար բիլ է գալիս մեզ համար, բազմից ես գնացել եմ իրաց մոտ, ասում եմ լոյնքամ հանեք, ասում եմ լոյնքամը հանել ենք, և սիթու կազմակերպության մեղավոր են անում, ասում եմ, որ թաքսը բարձացրել են, մենք մեղք չունենք։ Իսկ ասում եմ, դուք իսպանական չանալները, բազմից իսպանական չանալները կա միջև հայկական չարալները, մի քանիսը կրճատեք և մեր փողը քիչ լավ, որ մենք կարանանք մուծենք, այսքան չճնշվենք։ Ասում եմ, որ չի լինի, շատ որ պնդում ենք, զորում ենք, ասում ենք գրա անջատի տիպիտ։ Մեկ չէ, որ զորում ես, ասում են, չեմ անում, սիթին եմ մեղավոր, մենք կապ չունենք բան։ Մի խոսքով ես ձեզանից խնդրում եմ, որ այս չարթերի հարցով զբաղվեք, մենք մեղք ենք։ Համ հոսանքի փողակն մի հարց էլ կա, որ այս աղբերը, որ տանում են, ինչի պետք է վարձակալելը մուծեն։ 24 դոլար աղբի համար ամեն մեկս մուծում ենք։ Ինչի սիթին այդ հարցով չի զբաղվում։ Ես որտեղ մեր նման հիվանդ մարդիկ, որ պետքից օգնություն են առնում, մենք չենք կարող անում մուծենք։ Հոսանքի փող մուծում ենք, գազի փող մուծում ենք, ջրի փող մուծում ենք, ուտելիք ինչ ուտենք բա։ Գազի մեր հացը պանի ենք ուտում։ Ոչ մի թատրոն, ոչ մի կինո, ոչ մի տեղ չենք գնում։ Տուն նստած, էդ էլ անջատենք նստենք, բերդ ենք, էլի բերդի նման ենք։ Իմ խնդրանքսը դա է, որ ուշադրություն դարձրեք այդ հարցի համար խիստ, որ չարթերը այդքան էրջարը 73 դոլար 73 դոլար միակ չարթերն է, իր 17 դոլար 46 սենտ թաքսն է։ Հետո 57 սենտ էլ ռենքոնտրոլը ինչ է այդ մի խոսքով։ Ես շատ զորակալ եմ մեզ։ Գրում ենք ընի աշխատողներն են մեզ շատ կոպիտ են վերաբերվում։ Կամ ասում են տիպիտ անջատի տիպի մի նայի, շատ որ պնդում ես, զորում ես, ասենք խնդրում ես, կամ էլ ասում են սատելայտ միացրում։ Սատելայտ միացրում 250-ից մինչև 300 դոլար սատելայտ փող ուզում։ Ոնց կարող ես միացնել։ Ես խնդրում եմ սիթի կազմակերպիչներից, որ այդ հարցով խիստ զբաղվեք։ Հետո ես որոշ մարդկանց ընտրության մասին, ես ինքս ընտրության մասնակցում եմ։ Իմ նման մարդկանց, ասում եմ, ինչի չեք մասնակցում, ասում են օգուտ չկա։ Ինչ օգուտ պետք է ստանանք։ Ինձ քանի անգամ իմ նման մարդիկ ինձ ասեն, հələ մի հատ բողոք ունեցի գնա սիտին տեսնեմ կօգնեն քեզի թե չէ, ցեզի, մեզի։ Հիմա ես ընտրության միշտ մասնակցել եմ ու կմասնակցեմ էլ։ Ուզում եմ տեսնեմ այդ մարդկանց ապացուցեմ, եթե այս հարցով զբաղվեն ու իշնա մի չափով, որ կարող կոնը լոյնքամն էլ հանել են չկա, առաջ հանել հիմա չկա։ Հետո ես մի անգամ գրացի բողոքեցի 80 դոլար էր։ Այնքան խաբեբայություն են անում, իհարկե չարտերին եմ ասում էլի։ Շատ որ խոսացի, ասավ լավ, բան կարենք 17 դոլար կիչեցնենք։ Ես էլ ուրախացամ։ Ասավ 63 դոլար։ Հաջորդ ամիս եկավ, ասում էլ 65 դոլար։ Նորից լավ, ոչ ես կարող սխալ թունել։ 67 դոլար, 68 դոլար, 60 էլ նորից հասավ 91 դոլար։ Ասեմ ինչի է սենց էլի, կրեդիտ ունիր, ուրեմ խապում են, այդ բան, խապում են, մեզ այն ռոպեն ուրախացրում են, որ հա պակսեցեց ենք, լավ պակսեցեց, ես ուտքում եմ, մեկ էլ կամաց էլ նորից նույն փողը մեզից հետ են ալում։ Ես խնդրում եմ ես հարցով զբաղվեք ու մեկ էլ աղբերի հարցով զբաղվեք, Շնորհակալություն, բարի գիշեր։
Okay, I don't have any other cards. We will be adjourning tonight's meeting. Oh, that's right, Mr.
And I have appointments too.
Okay, so we do have some appointments. Why don't we go to Mr. Garbetian first to place it on the agenda?
Yes, thank you. I have two appointments tonight. Sir Aram Sahakian for Transportation and Parking Commission, and Mr. Hrant Avanesian to GWP Commission.
Thank you. Ms. Devine?
Yes, I'd like to nominate the following to boards and commissions: to Arts and Culture, R. Oshagan; to Design Review, Alan Malekian; CDBG, Leila Ramirez; GWP, Sarojini Lal; and to Planning, Chang Lee. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any others? Okay. We will be adjourning tonight's meeting in memory of Peter Chorobanyan. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We're seconded. We are adjourned.
Second.